Welcome to the Black Dawn playthrough with the devs. This is the September 30th Black Dawn playthrough. I'm Fabi, and I am here with Havoc89 and Robin.
Yay, what's up, guys?
Hello.
It's been 4 years since Renegade-x, the UT3 version, has been released, and to celebrate this 4th year anniversary, we decided to play through Black Dawn and provide a commentary of everything that we want to talk about. A lot of stuff comes up during developments, and we thought it would be worth doing. It's like a dev commentary.
I'm just gonna lower the volume in game because I can't hear any of the talking.
Did I just see dynamic lighting on the whole, like the smoke as well?
Yes, you did.
Oh shit.
We did some experimental stuff for this, man.
Yeah, this part of the level was actually, we originally had it so that you drove the hovercraft, but then we realized that it was so, like, I guess, anticlimactic.
Yeah, oddly enough, we actually did have a drivable hovercraft.
Yeah, but then we decided that it would just be a lot better, or it was just a lot more exciting if you had the projectile just going over your head and you shooting a few people, or trying to at least.
But first, a loading screen reminds me a lot of
screen, yes. Oh yes, and dodging. I accidentally just dodged.
Reminds me a lot of Half-Life 2, where the music is interrupted by your loading screen, and
we're gonna watch these explode. Oh shit, McFarlane's shooting at me.
Not what he's supposed to be doing.
Not what he's supposed to do, no.
It's good that we have.
He's a little drunk. He's probably a little drunk.
He's probably is. Let's watch these missiles come in. Boom.
So Robin, I hear you played McFarlane in Black Dawn.
Yeah, let's not mention that again.
Yeah, this guy right here.
Oh, you nearly scared my skirts off.
Alright, let's play the actual mission.
Yeah, so we had to divide up the level into 10 different missions because of frame rate issues mostly. You know, one of the things that I noticed is that the movement is just so much slower than it is in the multiplayer version.
Yeah. And I remember when we watched all the playthroughs of everybody else doing this, that was went the wrong way. Well, not necessarily the wrong way, but we didn't make it clear enough.
Yeah.
Alright, let's just do a speedrun.
I think one of the things that would be good to talk about is the improved AI. Since one of the main, criticisms we got from Renegade-x,
yes,
or at least, Black Dawn, was the AI.
Yeah, and our lead programmer, Michael, he's basically just overhauled the AI completely. And I think it's safe to say it's very much like multiplayer. Yeah.
Yeah, the AI was kind of just the main Achilles heel to the Black Dawn mission, or the level, I should say. So we decided to just improve it as much as possible, make it much more playable. So the skirmish mode is actually probably one of the best features in the multiplayer version at the moment.
Absolutely.
Even though it's not strictly a multiplayer feature, it just makes the game playable even if there's no one online. You can still load up a 32-player game and play with bots that can operate in CNC mode, buy their own vehicles, buy their own characters. It's honestly, I'm very proud of that feature.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Definitely.
I think it should definitely help get a lot of players in, just because not everybody plays multiplayer.
Yeah, I still remember with the early CNC games, I only played skirmish. I didn't even play online.
So, where we are now, we're almost done with the first objective.
Yeah, so we actually thought this would be cool because, well, this was heavily inspired by two things. The CNC 95 Beach Invasion level, which was the very first UDI level in the campaign.
Yep.
And then the second thing is a sort of Normandy-style invasion, where it's just this chaotic, you're landing on a beachhead and you're taking out bunkers and stuff, turrets. So, what better way to start a CNC level than a commando-style invasion?
Yep, and like we were planning to go really ambitious with this, just because we wanted to have like a MCV come in and on like one of those LCACs. Soon realized that would have been way too much to do.
Yeah, we had to get the MCV deploying. We had to get the animations, and
We would have to make an MCV, which we haven't done yet.
yeah.
Go get the rocket launcher.
We also wanted to try to get as many Renegade kind of nostalgic moments in as well. So, like right here, you take out the not officer, and there's a bunch of parts in the original Renegade campaign where you do the exact same.
Yep.
Hey Nielsen, do you mind turning down your speakers just a little bit, because I could kind of hear some feedback.
No, sorry. I'll just move away from the mic so I can breathe.
No, I think it's just whenever we talk.
Yeah, no, I'll move away from the speakers.
Yeah, that's a lot better. What's funny in this part is that if you actually take out the rocket
soldiers.
Yeah, he actually says, launch that rocket boy. Oh yeah, I should probably mention that, like, when it comes to the voice acting in this, which was one of the major complaints, is that just the dialogue, I guess. All of it comes from the original Renegade game.
Yes.
So everything comes from the Always Out That, except for whatever we had to do ourselves. So McFarland was voiced by Robin over here. I think I voiced a couple parts as well. Yep. We also had a professional voice actor voice the A10 parts. So a lot of the dialogue was just sort of fit together. And I think in some places it worked really well, in other places it was a little bit forced. But honestly, I think it's still a lot better than if you had me voice Havoc or something, because that would have been awful.
Oh man, I completely forgot there were bots here.
Oh yeah, and the red explosive...
Explosive barrels, yes. They've killed a lot of people in the playthroughs.
Yeah, they're kind of like a last-minute addition too, so
yeah.
I'm glad we put those in there.
They basically initiate and then they go off.
Yeah, they're really useful in that last.
Oh, look, that one's stuck.
Oh yeah, and the Chinook helicopters coming in dropping reinforcements or something. Like, that's also like a pretty last-minute addition.
Except they're not... I think they're holding back.
Buggy AI.
Yep.
Yeah, this cinematic was a lot of fun.
Yeah, planning this one was kind of a stupid thing that we did with McFarlane.
It's funny because it's just like half of the McFarlane lines just started off as a joke that we'd have on Skype, like with Robin. And we'd be like, "Hey, Robin, just say this and say that," and then like our conversations would turn into cinematics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see this cutscene turn up in some German review, and I thought that was pretty funny, so I guess it was kind of memorable. Maybe in a bad way, but, you know, who knows.
Do you know what they said?
I thought it was pretty hilarious anyways.
Did they say anything about it?
Oh, I can't really remember.
It's funny, because it's just like, oh, it would be funny if McFarlane just golfs a grenade into a tower. Like, it's just ridiculous even saying
it's a little offbeat, but why not, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those games where we're not taking things super seriously. Like, it's something that we want to have fun playing, something we want to have fun developing, something we hope that other people have fun playing just because we wanted to have that ridiculousness factor.
Yeah, I remember Jeep Ruby, like, he said it best. He said, like, Black Dawn was like a B-rated movie. Like, just all the cheesy lines, explosions.
Pretty much.
Kind of this action-packed, you know.
Yeah.
It's about the length of a movie, too. It's like an hour 15.
I'm pretty proud of everything we're seeing right now. Got some cool effects going on in the distance.
We're using that for Black Dawn too, I think, on Mesa, right?
Yeah, a little more advanced, even. So, but I think everything from Black Dawn onwards, like, we've learned a lot in terms of developing a game. So,
honestly, like, this is the first time I'm playing this after launch, and man, it looks like I don't want to say crap, but it's pretty bad, like compared to what we have right now in our multiplayer version.
This Sam site scene over here is like a classic style Command and Conquer cinematic or cutscene.
Yeah.
Like, we just had to add this in, and it was also pretty last minute, I remember.
I think a lot of cinematics were last minute.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And then, of course, we didn't have time to animate everybody speaking.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the bobbling heads. Well, not even bobbling heads, but no animations.
I think I read some criticisms of the latest Star Wars films, and they said, it's action scenes and there's people standing around talking, and then I thought of this. And yes, I'm sorry. But, yeah.
I remember...
pretty long conversation.
Hey, Fabi, I remember you did some of the voice acting here.
Oh, yeah, I did.
For the... Hands up my pants or whatever.
Your hands crawling up my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember... like, there's actually a lot of little detail in the map that goes unnoticed. So, for example, you have, like, a lot of distant sounds. You've got the artillery shooting at the Tiberium field over there. You got, like, the lightning and the thunder in the background.
Yep.
There's a lot of little things just to create the atmosphere of this level.
Speaking of sounds, by the way,
like
maybe you can chime in on the new sounds that we have, or the new sound system, or what we did. Pretty cool for the multiplayer. Or was it new? I mean, it's improved, certainly.
What do you mean?
The distant sounds.
Oh, yeah,
we didn't
that
have
stuff
that
is
in Black
awesome.
It just adds a whole new layer to the game. So basically now you have...
Prepare for the Matrix bit.
The only Matrix bit.
Oh.
Why didn't we have more of this?
Because this was last minute.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, so speaking of sounds, what Robin was mentioning earlier was that right now you have it so... Like in Black Dawn, if you were far away from a weapon, you couldn't hear it. That the weapon would just decrease in volume with time, and that was it. Or with distance, I should say. But now we actually have it so each weapon, each vehicle weapon, etc., has like a distance sound as well. And so if you're closer to the... So there would be two sounds. There would be like a kind of
They got these ragdolls, man. He's breakdancing.
Nice. You'd have like a first-person style sound, and then you'd have like a distance sound. And then no matter how... Depending on how closer you are to the person shooting, or how much further you are from him, the sounds kind of overlap, but like, one increases, the other one decreases. And it's actually really cool. It actually gives like a whole new layer to the audio of the game. Like,
yep.
Honestly, like I can just sit around listening to the game, just walking around the map, hearing these distant explosions.
And now, like, the silence weapons are much more useful.
Yeah, because the silence weapons don't give like a distant sound. So now there's actually a difference between firing a machine gun in a base where you can hear it halfway across the map in some subtle way, versus hearing like a silenced pistol, which you wouldn't if you're after a certain distance. Yeah, this part of the level was kind of... For me, this was kind of based around those commando missions in CNC 95, where there'd be like a lot of trees, and sometimes there'd be like soldiers under the trees that you can't see.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for like a really... like a... not really necessarily scary, but something that's more frightening.
Unwelcoming.
Yeah. Too bad the AI didn't cooperate.
But like the idea of going up and taking out the SAM sites and stuff, like that's very nostalgic with the old Command and Conquer.
Yep, absolutely.
We also had to make things a little easier with the C4s. Like we actually made it so you just
we
press
didn't want
E.
people to miss C4s, and
Exactly.
we didn't actually have C4s implemented in Black Dawn at the time, so that was our lazy solution.
Well, to be honest, it wouldn't have worked any other way, I think.
Yeah.
Because if you were just given whatever 2 or 3 C4s, then you missed, then you have to restart the level.
Yep.
Yeah, now the current chain gun is a lot more of a winding effect on it.
A lot more what?
Like now you have to wind up
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
fire.
Yeah, it's much more polished.
Yeah.
Rocky guy.
Yeah, the tactical rifle is kind of the anti-everything weapon.
I have like no health left.
Oh, you can be a true PR guy and play with God mode on, like they always do.
Yeah, that's true. I may need it for that one particular objective.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually miss this, that the gunboat explodes and it actually sinks.
Yeah, it's a little out of the way, so most people don't even notice that.
Yeah.
And then over here you have that cinematic where the airstrike comes and destroys the turrets.
Yep.
I think I might have missed this myself as well. A few times at least.
Yeah, we played this hundreds of times, you have to imagine.
Yeah.
I think on the forums, we actually had a countdown, so 10 days before release we did 10 blogs on the development of Black Dawn, and we explained some of the kind of story elements, where is this island located, what's the story, sort of just background knowledge. And it was pretty well done. I kind of like how mission made sense, like in a way.
Oh yeah. Even gave hints to the McFarlane character way back before we introduced him in the game.
Yeah. But I mean, like, how you have like this, you have this giant fleet to the east of the island, but then you're sneaking through the south of the island, and yeah, a lot of this was just kind of luck on our part. We just drew up a concept, and the single player just kind of flowed.
Yeah, pieces fell into place almost.
Yeah, you can say that. Some pieces fell out of place.
Yeah, like the dialogue.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because it's all from Renegade, so it's like...
I think some of it was okay.
Oh, it was okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, over here we had it so that, like, you have groups of soldiers around Havoc.
Right.
And they're all having a separate conversation.
Yeah, so you can actually stand here and listen to them, like, talk about orcas or something else.
Chem troopers and other stuff.
Yeah. What was supposed to happen here was that everybody was supposed to run off into the forest. I actually do see that when you actually get into the tank.
Yeah, some people didn't take the new weapons, I remember. Like, there's weapons on the table.
Yep.
Some people just went straight for the tank, which is fine, but...
Yeah, because it's a tank mission anyways.
Yeah.
So if I turn around, they're all heading off to the other beachhead. And yeah, anyways, let's go protect our MRLS because they're idiots.
Yeah, the MRLSs do not cooperate at least 20% of the time.
Interesting seeing the old explosion particles. I think we went through like 5 or 6 iterations of different explosions before we actually did this one, and now we have even better ones again.
Oh yeah, the new ones are just amazing, and I don't think the public has seen them yet, just because. Oh shit, my tank's
I think we released anything with it. Maybe some videos with
the
bots.
The last update we released was, or video update at least, was
December, yeah.
So that's a long time ago.
We haven't really shown anything from the version, like, since then. We've only shown Lakeside and Gold Rush, and even those maps have improved somewhat. Yeah, so we try to really mix it up with what attackers there are.
Since we're not actually supposed to shoot, but sometimes they do. Just like right now.
Yeah, one addition was the sentry guns that we have on the tower over there.
Yep.
And
a lot of people actually missed that in the next objective. There's one over here. I think this was also last minute additions.
I think this cinematic was probably our the most polished one for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think it's because of the animation of him coming out of the tank.
Yeah, just
continuity error.
It's very clear that the tank's busted up. He jumps out of it, and he's like, "What's next?" And then,
even though my tank already blew up.
It's kind of one of those jokes that work perfectly.
Yeah. Oh, this mission.
Yeah, this is mission. Definitely the bane of even seasoned players. I think it was pretty damn hard.
What I like to do
this mission is just the one with the tank, right?
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the next one.
Oh, it's the next one. Yeah.
The next one was way too difficult. We thought it would just be challenging and we'd be able to finish it, but I remember
the first time it was just super easy.
Yeah.
And then
we originally had it.
We kept adding more waves and waves, and then we had a small adjustment in AI, and everything suddenly changed. So that map or that level had many iterations that all of them pretty much failed.
It used to just be infantry rushes, and then we added near the end the Apaches and the APCs and the buggies and stuff that would also come in.
You know what I was trying to do right now is go into first person. Because we have that multiplayer right now for vehicles.
Yeah, first person vehicle. Which is actually pretty useful when you're trying to aim down a narrow...
Yeah, it's for precise targeting. It's very nice. And some people like playing in first person only, so...
I originally thought that it wouldn't be too useful.
It's very useful.
Yeah,
it's almost exactly like how you dynamically change your character from first to third. Depending on different scenarios.
I think it makes
it's the same process. I feel if you want to go in for a more precise shot. I usually always do that in first person, but to each their own, of course.
Honestly, I actually think that it's more useful for vehicles because a lot of the time you're trying to aim into a tunnel or something with a vehicle, and it's in third person it's a lot more difficult.
Oh yeah. Yeah, here comes the airstrike. Kablamo.
Yeah, I remember for the longest time that was the coolest part of Black Dawn.
Until we made the ion cannon scene.
Yeah, then that took the cup.
It's pretty cool though. I think we have an ion cannon in here and a nuclear bomb go off, so I think we pretty much topped a lot of games out there. Yeah.
At least in special effects.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this mission was a headache and a half.
Good luck.
Yeah, maybe I don't think it really matters if I'm in God mode, just because.
It's you might lose the.
That's
it's not you that died.
Turn. Oh yeah, and if you guys actually pay attention, to the dialogue that McFarlane says, he cracks a lot of wise ass jokes about. I think there's one which plays very rarely is, basically Robin saying to Fabi, "Get me out of this island."
Fabi being, of course.
But these things that you actually can't take them down. A lot of people tried shooting them.
Yeah.
That's because,
myself included. I think in the old Renegade you could shoot down all of the Chinooks, or at least 90% of them, definitely.
It's the same thing. There were certain ones that that were more cinematically designed. Yeah.
I think the issue was that we have an indicator on them.
Yeah.
And so people
it kind of suggested that you should try to take them out.
Right.
I think my Humvee just blew up. Yeah.
Yeah, the Humvee is a sword you carry, really. When that thing's alive, it takes out a lot of infantry, but then when it's gone, you have to rely on McFarlane, and McFarlane just sitting around like with his one-liners. I thought shooting at the dirt.
This is why we made the tactical rifle, just because we needed a gun that could take out everything.
Oi, this man's hat will make a great trophy. That one.
He's a little crazy.
I don't know, Robin. I think you're a little crazy.
Yeah,
I think you're relaxed, man.
Come on, Robin, man. This wouldn't be a video unless you do one McFarlane impression.
No.
No, you got it, man. Come on. It's Renegade's birthday, or Renegade-x's birthday.
No, you'd have to get me pretty drunk to do that. So
I thought you were already drunk.
yeah, it's pretty much true. But
Oh.
let's see if you can finish the objective first.
So this will be the prize.
Actually, do I have a rocket launcher? I don't have a rocket launcher. I'm gonna get a rocket launcher. Is MLS the bane of many people's existence?
You get some sentry guns in some of the multiplayer maps as well. Like in Gold Rush, there's.
There you go. See, you can hear that one. I don't know if many people heard that one. It plays randomly and sometimes miss it.
Yeah, you have to play Black Dawn a couple times to get that line.
I specifically remember making it so that you could take out the APCs in just one rocket launcher mag.
Oh yeah, we should probably mention that the rocket launcher in the multiplayer version is completely different. So this
I think we already showed it off in the game design podcast.
It's pretty unfair, actually, that they're coming from the right side. I remember playing this and, thinking, what? I thought everybody had the back covered, So,
yeah, where's our tanks? Where's our armor?
Yeah.
It's funny because you have like 200 people being taken out by 4 guys.
Oh yeah, and of course the map gets brighter. So in the beginning, it's very dark. So going into the forest becomes like kind of tricky because you can't really see. But then later on in this objective, it gets a bit bright. The best thing you can do is mount this gun, I think.
Yeah, how does this actually work? Because when we first started Black Dawn, we had a full day and night cycle, but eventually, that didn't work out so well.
Framerate decided not to cooperate.
Yeah.
Funny because I think there's a Steven Seagal movie called Black Dawn.
No, don't shoot my...
Oh yeah, there is.
And our game is like a Steven Seagal movie.
You want to skip this objective? I want to skip this objective.
Just skip it, whatever.
I won't let's skip it. We're going back to the menu.
Oh, yeah, we don't have that exit thing in the multiplayer right now.
No, we don't.
Right now we just have the standard UDK one.
Yes, that needs to be ported over. But we got more important things to do right now.
Oh yeah, like battlefield control is battlefield is 2 words.
Yeah. Well,
this scene was actually pretty well done, I thought.
Yeah,
I love the lighting. Pretty. And you've got like a campfire on the
tanks.
Everyone likes the mammoth tank. McFarlane's just like, oh, look after these MRLS for now, and then of course he doesn't.
Yep. Mammoth tank.
Yeah, so the mammoth tank got a huge overhaul in Renegade-x UDK version because we just thought it was really boring in Renegade. Like, you had these really short-range missiles which didn't make any sense. So we made them a little longer, and the cannons work a little differently. Instead of 1 cannon at a time, you got 2 at a time.
Yes.
It's a lot like how they work in the RTS games, yeah.
We had the funniest bugs with this thing. I mean, we would fire like 3 shells at the same time, or fire missiles and shells, and it was great.
Sometimes the cannons would stop working.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes like the ammo just decides to run out, even though it's supposed to be infinite ammo.
Yeah.
Ragdoll.
Good against everything. It's pretty much the same in multiplayer, except obviously we had to minimize the armor of everything in the single player version. So you can destroy everything with like a couple shots of either rockets or cannons. Yeah,
Yep.
the new rocket launcher, instead of the sort of Renegade style rocket where it's just a directional kind of 6 rocket clip, it's just 1 rocket per clip. There's a reload after every clip, but each rocket actually packs more of a punch and you can actually lock onto vehicles. It's actually a lot more useful now, I think, but without being overpowered.
Speaking about armor, by the way, can we talk about that new thing that we are doing, or?
What thing?
Well, the directional armor.
Oh, right.
We want to give weak points to certain parts of the vehicle, right?
Yes.
We haven't set that up yet, though.
Nope.
So if you'd like to tell us what you think about that, let us know.
This doesn't sound very convincing nor hopeful, but
Yeah.
Well, it's just sort of the way most FPS games
I think
are.
it's going to be pretty cool to have that implemented, because it means that you can actually, do flanking maneuvers and get some payoff off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, the gameplay in general, like the gunplay, has gotten a massive overhaul. So, something like that I think would be very useful.
I was gonna say the infantry got a huge the infantry gameplay, I should say, got a huge overhaul. We got the stress meter. We've got like the called iron sights. We've got the new recoil. Like we've got exchangeable weapons. It's got so much for characters that the vehicles kind of felt a little bit archaic in a sense. Like the vehicles worked a lot like they did in the original Renegade without much overhaul. So lately we've been thinking of some new ways to change things up a little bit, and we've got weak points on vehicle armor. Then that actually gives a much more strategic dimension to vehicle combat, I think. Because instead of just every part of the vehicle damaging the same, you can now look for sensitive areas and actually, like Robin said, flank.
Looks like we're done here. I can't do it, Robin. You gotta do it.
They're gonna fire the missiles first now, aren't they?
Not until Robin gets away.
No, you didn't finish the objective, so I need to go. What? Oh yeah, this is where he leaves, right? Funny, because they bombard the base with missiles, ion cannon, nuke. it's pretty gone by the time they leave this place.
Oh, I think the whole island just turns to rubble.
Yeah.
By the end of it.
Of course, it's daytime now, so that was a good touch in this level. You can actually see the same map in different lighting.
Yep. And of course, airstrikes for.
Oh, this is a little cameo for the multiplayer version, because you can actually initiate both A-10 strikes and C-130 strikes if you're not C-130.
Where are they now, by the way?
What's that?
Well, where are they standing? Where are they watching this?
They're near the the other beachhead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So did McFarlane leave and trail behind you, or this?
Yeah,
is this?
Yeah, that's why we added that little clip in the end where you see him going into like a Humvee and driving off.
This last camera angle is kind of like the inverted one where in Tiberian Sun, where you see the laser cannons. Kind of reminds me of that.
Oh, this ion cannon scene, we wanted to make the best ion cannon that any CNC game's ever done.
Yeah.
And of course, in an FPS game, there's a high expectation for what you come up with. Robin,
I think we did pretty good.
Cinematic.
Yeah, Robin was the main guy behind the ion cannon.
And I think the cinematography is very highly influenced by Battlestar Galactica and Firefly.
I think actually this, well, the latter bit is cooler. The neat little effect going on, by the way, with the distortion. Not this one, the ring, but before it fires.
Yeah.
Just wanted to do something extra with that. In reality, of course, if you shoot the ion cannon like that, it would probably fly off into space, but nobody thought about it. In 95, this is just great. When we came up with this, actually inspired by the Dawn of War orbital strikes, where they lift off the stuff before it actually, hits the ground.
And Dragon Ball Z.
Why not? Why not do this? It's
Dragon
cool.
Ball Z, yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, man, they would charge up and like rocks and shit would lift around. This is the coolest part of Renegade-X. I'm sorry. This is the best thing that we've ever done.
Yeah.
This ion cannon sound took like 5 or 6 tries. And the animation also took like 3 or 4 tries, I think.
Well, we certainly iterated on the explosion quite a lot.
It's not as epic in the multiplayer, but
we had to tone it down a little bit because you have a potential of like 10 of these going off at once. But you know what? We actually did a really good job, I think.
Sparkling multiplayer pixies in the sky.
And the after effect is awesome. Like we have that Halo style.
Yeah, it was mostly inspired by ODST.
I think it was ODST. Yeah.
Yeah, when the ship jumps to slip space.
Yeah, it's cool to have a sense of continuity in that. The ion cannon has a lasting effect on the battlefield.
Yeah.
In the original games, it was just you fire the thing, it's done. But as you can see.
More chaotic over here. Like you have this kind of after a storm effect where you just have the kind of sparks or whatever flying around, or the Tiberium dust, whatever. Not Tiberium dust, the ion dust, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
You have a blue tinge to everything. Like it's really cool. And then I think once you get to the target area, you still see some electricity.
Yeah, it should be sparks. On the crater, or in the crater, yeah.
Yeah, of course, Nodsil puts up a fight. He's hit by a gigantic orbital cannon. All that for Mobius, eh?
I know.
I think I read a comment somewhere on YouTube saying that he's like Princess Peach. He needs rescuing all the time. I think.
Yeah, he did so.
That's definitely true.
In Renegade, Renegade-X.
You're gonna sum Renegade into one level. Like that's what you're gonna have.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we did.
You have like a ground zero effect.
Yeah, right over here.
Oh, look, more nutties have suddenly spawned. Oh, convenience.
They just woke up. Like, oh shit, we're under attack.
I can't. What ion cannon? I didn't see any ion cannon.
Oh yeah, we didn't have since we didn't really have much indoor combat, we had to incorporate it in this Hand of Nod part.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty well done. I mean, there's such a small space, but we were able to pack so much in there.
Well, that's because we made it bigger.
Yeah, we made it bigger, but it's just like, what, 2 hallways?
How are you gonna do this, Rambo? Oh, you got it. Alright.
Dude, I have a magical gun.
Yeah, that's true. He defeats it with bow and arrow. That's more impressive. Of course, that was a Hind,
What?
That was a Hind helicopter, I think.
Oh,
but that
what are you
was,
talking about?
Older tech. Rambo. When he kills the helicopter with the bow and arrow.
Dude, Havoc kills Rambo. Like, the shit that he does, he pulls off.
Is that thing primed to blow? I don't know.
It is now.
This is definitely one of my favorite guns, and one of my favorite bits where you finally get the one and you roast everybody inside.
Yeah, originally we just had a chain gun, but then we said, no, you know what?
We need a special gun.
We need a special gun for a special level.
Yeah. Always blow up the barrels.
I just love the visuals in this part of the level. Like, I felt like the lighting was perfected.
Yeah.
Like, you really see the strength of the UD part of the level. I thought the beginning of Black Dawn wasn't so impressive.
Yeah, it was just everything super dark.
Yeah, but then once you get to this part of the level, like I would say this objective, the objective before it, the objective after it, you really do see some picturesque parts.
The cool thing is, I think we actually make multiplayer look even better than single player. We learned so much during the development of Black Dawn in optimization and just graphics and all this stuff.
And the second half of Black Dawn is a lot better than the first half, both in visuals and gameplay.
Yeah.
I think everyone agreed on that part. But yeah, like Robin said, I mean, just multiplayer is at a whole new level. It's so polished and looks amazing.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that like the frame rate I'm getting in Black Dawn is terrible, like compared to the multiplayer. In the multiplayer version, we have 32 bots running in a game with tanks, explosions, all that stuff happening everywhere, and it runs fairly smooth compared to this. So we did a lot of optimization.
Like, think about it though. We did this right after the UT3 version. So, I mean, even Black Dawn was a pretty big jump from the UT3 version, in my opinion. And then the multiplayer version was a very big jump from Black Dawn.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty glad that we did this, just because I remember back when we decided to start this, there were some arguments about this being a bad idea. But honestly, I think it helped us to understand the engine a lot better, and in the end, I think we're going to get a much better product.
And we should probably mention that me and Havoc were talking about a month ago, and it's pretty safe to say that Black Dawn got over 800,000 downloads, which is that's a big deal. I mean, a lot of games don't even get that many sales. And I mean, Black Dawn's a free game, but you have to remember that this is a free project, and don't spend any money advertising it. I just want to...
Yeah, sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that like it went really far, even though it's just sort of a 1 hour game we made on our free time. So it makes us really excited about multiplayer, because even if only half those people come back to play multiplayer, we'd have a very good product, very good release. But I think we may even get more downloads for multiplayer.
Everybody's waiting for it, yeah.
There's a lot of people that didn't even download Black Dawn because they were just waiting on multiplayer.
This is probably like one of the most prettiest scenes, just because you have the sun, the iron cannon radiation, and lots of explosions.
Yeah, like everyone's trying to get off the island. You've got this timer.
Yeah. I think originally we were thinking of basically just having the player hijack the AC-130 or the C-130, but
a little too ambitious, right?
It's not just too ambitious, but I think like there was no real chase scene involved.
Yeah, okay.
And even though it's not technically a chase scene, I think it just made it a lot more enjoyable.
Again, kind of reminiscent of the old Renegade, where they had all of this stuff parked.
Yeah.
So Nod at this point has just given up. Is like, all right, fuck it, we're gonna nuke the base. You can bleep that out, right?
Do we need to?
Will.
I don't know. Gotta keep this family friendly, of course. In between all the killing.
Come on, is Renegade-x a family friendly game?
I don't know. You tell me. Wanted to comment on Sydney not being dressed for the occasion, so I guess some things in there not really politically correct and all that stuff.
Robin and McFarlane have one thing in common: they're both foul-mouthed. This part over here, the airstrike actually, or the A-10s actually take out the
aircrafts. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was also
last minute.
Last minute, yeah.
I think everything was last minute, man. Like half the things.
Really. I mean, we laid out the map really early, but then there was a couple months where not much work was being done on it. But as soon as we put a deadline on it, I think everything.
Oh no way! Oh no!
Good luck.
Wow, are you serious? I don't think
that's never happened before. I think I was trying to show off the airstrike. Note: I have nobody with me. I still have 20 seconds.
I think
Run
you're
like
done.
hell. Oh yeah, good.
Running.
Yeah, I've never lost my APC at that point.
Yeah, I kind of stopped to show the view, but then
Yeah,
I think the Apache shot me.
I'm getting like 2 FPS right now, watching the screen.
I'm not even getting to.
Something exploded. I see people running.
Yeah, and McFarlane's just standing there like a boss.
Oh, and like this cinematic was made by Robin, I think.
He could have done it by himself. Oh, this was one terrible night of.
Yeah, this was, I think, literally like the second or third last day.
Oh, this nuke was cool though. That was nice to do. Yeah.
This was really epic. Like it almost rivals the Iron Cannon
The Iron
because
Cannon, yeah.
you actually see like the music changes as soon as the missile hits, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
It's all like like the missile comes down, and yeah.
And we didn't have any budget or time for a proper ending, so there you go. Cut to credits. You know, I just saw Mad Max actually, and it's just the same. It's like, oh, the bad guy's dead. Cut to credits. So yeah. Oh well.
Credits.
Yeah. You want me to skip over this part?
But I'm still very proud.
No, I
actually.
want to see the names. This is the
Right.
most satisfying part.
I'm surprised like a lot of people have actually worked on this game over the years.
Yeah. It's nice to see all the nicknames in there also.
Yeah.
We haven't seen some of these people since the release. Like, what happened to Mighty Bob?
I don't know, man. Mighty Bob, where are you?
If you're watching, get over here. Be sure to keep up to date on Renegade-X for the upcoming multiplayer release.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Come on, man. Black Dawn was more recent than that.
I know.
Okay, so that was
January
the
2012.
Renegade-X Black Dawn playthrough. So
Yeah.
So
Glad
do we
to
want
have
to
done
follow
this.
up with a small little talk on what we're planning, or anything interesting to leave the fans with?
well, let's just say that you guys haven't seen the multiplayer since December, and man, has it come a long way.
Oh yeah. It's a whole new game, I think.
Yeah, so any last thoughts on Black Dawn, like 2 years later?
I still think it's pretty impressive that we managed to pull it off. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little broken in some areas.
Oh yeah, of course.
But,
And I mean,
was
a
interesting.
lot of people were asking if we're gonna patch this up and release that with the first release. I don't think that's gonna happen. We've been really focused on the multiplayer. I mean, we would like to, but I think we're not really very good with single player.
I think what it is that first the original plan was to release 1.0 version with both multiplayer mode and Black Dawn, but then we realized that Black Dawn was like almost 4 gigs or something. So in order to make the file a lot smaller, we wanted to just release multiplayer by itself. People can still download Black Dawn if they want. And the other thing is that if we wanted to patch it up and re-release it, I think a lot of people would be expecting like a grand kind of change.
Right, exactly. Like,
Where we,
I mean, if we're
you know,
just going
add,
to
like, a
simply do a
non-campaign or
patch,
something
then,
like that.
I mean, people have already played it. What's the point of playing it again?
Yeah, like if we just change 10% of it and fix some of the lines and some of the bugs and just, you know, add, maybe we would have added like an extra part, like it would still be generally the same game.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't really be a point of revisiting it in that.
Right, of course.
I mean, overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Like, personally, for me, I remember seeing the reviews, and it was mostly positive, and there were some negative reviews. I think overall, it was probably like a 7 out of 10 or something.
yeah, I definitely think like all the criticism is very warranted, of course, but you have to imagine that, you know, we all did this in our spare time.
Well, I
And,
think the most important thing is you're welcome to criticize. Just remember that we're working on the multiplayer version, and so any criticism, we would appreciate criticism that would relate to the multiplayer
definitely.
version. Like there are some people that were talking about like the voices, for example, and most of that stuff does not translate over to multiplayer. In fact, most of that stuff was not even made by us. So like it's kind of a useless gesture. but yeah, I mean, this is a free game, and at the same time, I don't like hiding behind that kind of excuse. I think
No, of course not. No, definitely.
It is a very ambitious project for us, and we're pretty young of a team itself. So like we had a lot to learn, and I think Black Dawn had done a pretty good job at teaching us those lessons.
The only thing, the only downside, or the only major downside to me for Black Dawn was just the amount of time it took.
Oh yeah.
But overall, like I was saying earlier, I mean, just the evolution from UT3 version to Black Dawn was big, and then from Black Dawn kind of brought us a long way. We learned so much in that kind of year and a half of development that I think if we worked on the multiplayer version right away from UT3, I don't think we would have exactly
made it as good as it will be.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. Like,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think the UT3 version, or sorry, the UDK version after UT3 would be as, like, at best, as good as Black Dawn.
Yeah.
But now it's so much above and beyond what it would have been.
And just the overall general level of polish is much, much more extreme. Compared to the UT3 version, Black Dawn, like, I would say these are like extremely buggy in comparison. Sure, there are a few bugs, especially related to netcode in the multiplayer, but just the general quality that you get now, it's too bad I can't really show it to you unless you want me to.
I think it's safe to say, I mean, they'll see it soon enough, but
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that, like, not a single thing in Black Dawn stayed exactly the same for multiplayer. Every single
we
weapon,
did a lot of things from the ground up.
yeah, like I was gonna say, like every single weapon is different, either by audio, visuals, just functionality. Everything has changed. The way the vehicles operate.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that if you are a veteran player of the original game or even the UT3 version, this is going to feel like a completely different game. Just because of how much has changed. Everything you're familiar with is not going to be exactly how you remembered it to be.
And a lot of Black Dawn was kind of a test run for some of these features. So, for example, we put in the stress meter for the first time, and we put in the sprinting. We put in recoil to some extent. The recoil is a lot better now, but we tested a lot of these things, and we kind of realized that people appreciated like a different style game as opposed to just a carbon copy remake of the original Renegade, because you can honestly still go and play the original Renegade if you want to. But
The
this
other
is
thing
Renegade
is that
brought
the
to the
UT3 version of reneagde-x was more or less a one-to-one remake, and people got bored of that after about a year and a half. So, I mean, it's mostly because there just isn't anything new that you don't already know how to do or experience. So there was that element that was missing, and we feel that was very critical to get right.
Yeah,
So-
the UT3 version was almost exactly like CNC Renegade. It was the same maps. There's no kind of recoil, no kind of sprinting. Like all the characters, weapons, vehicles, everything worked exactly the same way. The amount of difference between the UT3 version and the original Renegade, like the differences could be counted on one or two hands, really. I remember some people complained about the GDI soldier and not soldier damaging the same amount. That was just really stupid. Like, because in original Renegade, the GDI soldier's gun, which was identical to the not soldier, but damaged more by 2 points. And the fact that we equalized it, there were some people that started complaining and said, "Oh, you've destroyed the game and you've ruined it, blah, blah, blah." The point system was a little different. But again, like, the UDK version is almost a world apart from the original Command & Conquer, but kind of in a good way.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a welcome change, just because you've played the game so many times, and we're not saying that it's bad. It's great. We love it, but we want something new. We want to evolve the game. You don't want to keep playing the same exact thing over and over and over again. It's kind of how like sequels usually get tainted, is that because they're not exactly the same as the first game. So I mean, that whole mindset and that sort of sense of change is bad is something that people are going to have to get over.
I think a lot of the veteran players won't even notice half the changes because they feel so natural. And there's so many changes that you will notice and you'll kind of refuse to go back.
Yeah,
I think Ken's was
very
saying
true.
something like that. I mean, there is, let's say for example, once you've got the sprint feature in Renegade-X, which just fits the game so much.
It feels very natural. It's like something that you should be allowed to do. Yet you can't do it. It's really difficult going back.
Interrupt, don't you?
Sorry.
Sorry, complete your thought.
No, I'm done. Yeah. I just wanted to mess with you.
I'm just saying, man. You go back to the original game, and you press shift. The fact that you can't sprint, that just pisses me off. And
yes.
There's a lot of little things. For example, the Apache and the Orca, they no longer operate the exact same way. Actually, the Orca was better in the original Renegade because it's the gun could fire from more angles or something like that. In this, you actually have more of an attention on certain weapons. So the Orca has more of attention on missiles. The Apache has more of an attention on
the gun.
On its gun. And then their guns and missiles both work in different ways. There's a lot of things. So the Ramjet's no longer just a better version of the sniper rifle. They have different rates of fire. They're different. The projectiles are actually different. The Ramjet is no longer just sort of like a blue beam. It's now actually a projectile, which it's a little slower than instant, but it's close enough. The damage to vehicles is a little bit different. Like I said, the rocket launchers are very different from how they used to be, except for the gunner rocket. That's almost the same. Even things like the chain guns. The chain guns, the current chain guns, they don't have any reload anymore, and they have a wind up to fire. The laser rifle works a little bit differently. It works kind of more like a battle rifle instead of just sort of a 100 laser.
Yeah, we wanted to make every gun feel different, both in their functionality and their sort of damage values.
It's just that in Renegade, everything was point and shoot, except for the grenade launcher. Everything was just a sort of point and shoot weapon. But in Renegade-X, not only do the guns work a little differently, but they also have secondary fires. So, for example, the shotguns. The shotgun, it has a standard primary fire, which is typical. But then the secondary fire, it has a faster rate of fire, and it has the spread is a lot more, and the distance, the range is a little bit less. So you just have sort of different play styles depending on primary fire and secondary fire.
But look, Fabi, what do I have?
What you say?
Game. I'm in Blacktown and an Apache. I just decided to spawn it.
Yeah, so you can actually spawn whatever vehicles you want if you know the commands.
Play the objective of the Apache.
Even the Ravishah and the personal ion cannon, so railgun and personal ion cannon, they work differently now. They're not just a giant beam that you shoot. They're actually a lot more unique now. One of them works kind of like the Spartan cannon from Halo. There's a bit of a charge up.
Robin does not have anything to say.
No, I'm just thinking. No, I actually I thought we were kind of getting to the end of the podcast, and I wanted to leave people listening for so long and watching for so long with some interesting news on the new multiplayer version. So I thought maybe we could talk about some stuff not really talked about before, some features that are completely new besides all the new features.
Okay, well, how about this? What if we each of us say the one thing that we're most looking forward to in the multiplayer version, and then we'll just close with that.
Sure.
So, I guess I'll cheat a little. I'll say one or two things. The first thing for me, today we just set up the airstrikes, and man...
Those are awesome.
they're just so satisfying. Like I just unleashed them on an enemy base. And I mean, they're not really meant to be used against buildings. It's sort of more of an area damage. You can't actually destroy a building with an airstrike. You need a super weapon for that. You need like an ion cannon or nuke. But it's just so satisfying because you see just either these A-10s or the C-130 come in and just blast an area, and it lasts about 10 seconds or so. And it's just so satisfying. And the second thing I'm looking forward to is, I'm going to say the infantry combat. Like, I just feel like in the original Renegade, you tried your best to hop into a vehicle, like a Med or a light tank or something, or an Apache. But I feel like in Renegade-X, like, I actually prefer going on foot a lot more. I can actually just so much more maneuverability. And like I said, there's this new like secondary fires for each weapon. There's also some new items that we're going to mention in a future update.
You're saying like 5 things, man.
Yeah, you're not
leave some for the rest of us.
I'm just saying, man,
I was going to say I'm looking forward to the.
You guys go.
Yeah. All right. So once up first. All right, sure. Well, I'm kind of biased, of course, because I do level design and environment art, but I'm definitely very enthusiastic about the new maps that we have. We're trying to break away from the old Renegade, like the boxed-in canyon feeling. So we're adding vistas and things in the skybox and off in the distance to help immerse yourself a bit more in the CNC world. Like have actual bases built instead of just plopping down a bunch of buildings. Like right now, the bases have gates and walls and all that extra stuff. So personally, I'm trying really hard to get that RTS feel a bit more in there, have things make sense. So, access routes to and from the bases, logical. I don't know, just making the maps more logical. And I think if you compare like the old Renegade maps, of course, that's from a long time ago. Compare them to the new one. It's an interesting change to see how far they've come and how far we've come graphics-wise, of course, too. But yeah, I think even for this day and age, our maps are pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they're one of probably the most prettiest maps that we've ever made. Okay, so for me, the thing I'm looking forward to the most, I would say, is the new loadout customization options. This is something we haven't announced, but I guess we're getting so close to releasing, might as well. So this is a feature where you can use different weapons for your, for example, your pistol. You may want to switch that out. You have that option, and then there are more options that I don't want to say too many details specifically because we have to test them out still. But yeah, that's the thing I'm looking forward to most, and I think like the infantry combat in general, this is gotten a huge overhaul, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, like just the customization options that you have for infantry. It just puts the game on a whole new level and kind of gives every player a way to define the game for himself.
Yep. A lot of the weapon changes that we've done is more or less to define a specific role or emphasize a role. So the weapons are not necessarily great at everything anymore, so you have to choose wisely.
A little more rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors style, and that's where loadout customization comes into play, where you can shift the role of the character in a slightly different direction. So it's really up to you how you want to play. So that's something I think is going to be either a really big hit or a really big fail. Personally, I think it's going to be a big hit.
And I think the one thing that can sum all of this up is like there's something in Renegade-X for everybody.
Yes.
Meaning, like, if you're really bad at the game, you can sit around and repair vehicles and repair buildings if you want. If you want to snipe, you can do that. If you want stealth tactics, you can do that. If you want to infiltrate, you can do that. If you want to just fight with tanks, like do some tank battles, you can do that. If you want to pound stuff from a distance with artillery, you can do that. If you want to sneak in a super weapon, you can do that. There's just so much you can do. And we actually are hoping to release some kind of strategy videos to give some people a head start before the multiplayer release, so that everyone can be acquainted with some very basic strategies. and so that way when you can jump in game after release, everybody will know generally what they can do as a team. If you want to drive people around with an APC or a Chinook, you can do that, and you can actually do that a lot more effectively in Renegadex than you can do in a PS.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And it'll be interesting to see how the old Renegade tactics have changed because of the gameplay changes that we're making. I mean, by and large, it'll probably still work, but there's lots of some subtle little tweaks here and there that might make quite a difference. So I'm interested to see how that will play out.
And just everything is so satisfying, just blowing shit up. So satisfying in that game.
Vehicles actually explode properly now.
So with that, I suppose we can close.
Yep.
Alright, so thanks for joining us in this Black Dawn playthrough. I think we had fun. I'm just speaking for myself. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure.
Nice.
It was good to go back and just look over everything and kind of think back to the development process, but also think of the future and what the future has in store for Renegade-X. So thanks again for joining us from Fabi.
Sorry, I was just watching the ion cannon explosion again.
Yeah, I thought the audio cut off there. I thought you were going to say more, but...
Yeah, what were you saying before?
I said from Fabi.
From Havoc 89.
Yes, and from myself, Nielsen.
See you on the battlefield.
Yeah, not Battlefield. Renegade-X.
Yeah, not Battlefield 4. Although we'll probably see you there too.
Yes.
Alright, until next time, guys.
Later, guys.
See ya.